trying to figure out why you're making all these excuses for John Jones. Hey, what up, everybody? You tuned back into the SpeakEZ podcast. It's your boy Easy. I'm here with Trevor from the Casual Fanboy podcast. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Ready to talk some fights, some UFC 252, some Daniel Cormier, some Stipe. So let's get into it.
I'm ready to nerd out. If you guys don't know the Casual Fanboy podcast, they're another they cover MMA and like they're fire with the memes. They got the fire guests too. Who's been your favorite guest so far that you guys had on the show?
I'd say Luke Thomas probably. That's like my favorite MMA guy to listen to. So
Okay.
I like, that's all I watch. I don't watch Ariel or any of those MMA dudes.
Wow.
I only watch Luke Thomas. So yeah, that was a pretty sick interview. It was hard to get him too. You know, I had to pester him. So but yeah, I'd say that's probably my favorite by far.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet. Like, because I don't really listen to Luke that often. I more than like Rogan, Shaw, but then Ariel, because he like has the interviews. You know what I'm saying? But it would be. I'm just imagining like if I got to speak to one of those guys, that'd be pretty fucking sick. But I mean Ariel, I'd be pretty excited to nerd out.
Yeah,
yeah, you got that experience.
Yeah, Ariel, he's an interesting guy. I don't know.
Weren't they together before?
Awkward.
Luke Thomas and Ariel, like, weren't they together for the MMA Hour or whatever it's called?
Yeah. So they had MMA fighting. It's owned by like Vox Media. It was like Ariel, Mark Ramundi, who works for ESPN now, Luke Thomas. ESPN just like sucked the life out of MMA fighting. Now they have like these random dudes. I don't even know who they are in their podcast. And yes, like Ariel with ESPN, Luke Thomas was Showtime. Danny Segura is with USA Today, MMA Junkie. They all got like just new deals or something from different companies. So
as a fan, how do you feel about the new guys? Yeah, you hate them or?
The new guy, and I haven't even listened to it honestly.
Yeah.
I just went right to like Luke Thomas on his Showtime show, Morning Combat, and all that. Sometimes maybe I'll listen to Ariel every now and then, but that's about it, really.
Yeah, it's been weird, like, and interesting trying to break into that space too, because like I'm almost the same way. Where like I don't almost like give a lot of new guys shots unless they have like somebody I'm like interested in hearing from or like an interesting take or something like that, you know? Like,
yeah,
so I was trying to do this. It's like I don't know. It's gonna be fun and interesting. What were we gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, it's just like booking guests for like podcasts. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and just trying to even like be a voice in like the MMA like community, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it's like
people are coming to us to hear, you know, our opinions. Like you do Luke Thomas and I do Ariel and all that.
Yeah, it's like a weird space because like you have some of these dudes with like 50,000 followers, 100,000, and they suck. Like their pages suck, and you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like I'm posting better content than these people.
Yeah.
Even podcasts too. Like a lot of them like suck. But booking guests is a pain in the ass. Like doing all this shit by yourself, like it's insane. Like, you know, Diego Sanchez or whatever, you know, you gotta DM them like a bunch of times or do this, do that, reach out to agents, you know, like Ngannou's agent and all that, and it's a pain in the ass. Like schedule, and you gotta schedule this, and then you gotta edit the film. It's like a grind. People don't realize how much of a grind
editing,
it is.
Bro, is fucking what kicks my ass, man.
Yeah, the editing. I mean, it's so insane.
Long. Yeah. So I'm glad. I think this is a gallery view. Let me see. Gallery is the one where it's like side by side, right? I believe. So.
Yeah. On Zoom, I don't even know how to do this shit. I just like created Zoom because Lance McCullers from the Houston Astros. He's like, "Oh, do you guys use Zoom?" And I was like, "Oh no, we actually use Skype." And then like he ghosted me for like a week. And then I was like, "Oh no, I got Zoom." And then I just fucking sent them the link, and then I got lucky or whatever.
Yeah. What'd you make of the fights?
Fights, I mean, they were good. It's an okay card. It's not like the best, but it's, I don't know. Like the O'Malley was just disappointing. That fucking sucked. Like,
yeah.
I had like a pit in my stomach because I was like a big O'Malley fan, as like I'm sure a lot of people are, and I just felt nervous for some reason. Like I only get that feeling with like guys I really like Adesanya, McGregor, O'Malley. I'd say those are like maybe my top three. I probably have some more fighters in there, but I was like nervous, and then I was just like, something's not right here. Like on the walkout, like mentally. Like my dad, he was a horse racing journalist for the Staten Island Advance, so he covered horse racing. And he always taught me about like you know, what do you call it when you're watching a horse? You know, how they're walking, what's their like you can actually tell a lot of things from a horse race just by seeing their gait, their stride. Are they nervous? Are they freaking out? So like you watch like O'Malley walking out, and he seems like just like not as calm as that Eddie Wineland fight. That Eddie Wineland fight, he was walking out. He had like straight eyes to the camera, not nervous, like not phased at all. And it just seemed like he was
still pretty gangster with it when he's doing his like his warm ups, like going around the cage. He like
Oh
circles.
yeah.
You look right past him, look right at him. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, like
So if you compare those two walkouts, you can see the body language of O'Malley. It's just like he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so then like the fight happens, and then I'm like, okay, he's not as aggressive right now. Right off the gate, he's not as aggressive. And just keep circling, not engaging. You know, leg kicks, some body kicks exchange, and then the fucking dead leg happened, and then he just went down, and that was it.
Yeah, man, the dead leg was that was disappointing because like we didn't really get to see the full fight, and I get like there's a strategy to like the leg kicks. Like I'm not trying to discredit Cheeto at all, you know what I'm saying? But like we didn't get a full fight, you know what I'm saying? So like that's why we're like disappointed. And I get why it was like slower paced too, because like it's kind of like Robert Whitaker and Darren Till. It was kind of like inactive except for when Whitaker was making those bursts. It's such like how they said it was stressful. You know what I'm saying? It's a high level like striking battle between those guys. And originally too, like I didn't really know that much about Cheetah, but then I saw a stat. He finished like 12 of his last like 15 like fights, or 12 of 15 fights in the UFC. I'm like, damn, this guy's like the real deal. I was like watching some of his like highlights too, and I was like, god damn, like he had this armbar against Brian Kelleher. He started off like a Kimura, and then Kelleher like took him down. He just switched it to like an armbar. I'm like, bro, this guy is actually like fucking legit. But as fans, we got robbed of like, the full fight for sure. Like, and I don't even necessarily know, and I have to look back and watch it, but I don't even know if it was a kick that injured him because it kind of looked like he just stepped funny when he was like going to feint or like move. And at the point when he's like in the center of the ring.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is with that is everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to be the expert. Everyone knows more than everyone. So like, you know, you have these guys posting videos like, "Oh, look, it was just leg kick. Like I'm an expert. I know this shit." And they're like, "Oh, his leg got dead." No one knows what actually went down. I mean, no one knows. I mean, you can have an injury.
Like, I'm sorry, from someone who edits video, like if you just show a fucking leg kick and then him like falling, like yeah, it's gonna look like you can make any kick in the fight look like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can just show that kick and then him falling, like this is what caused it. You know what I'm saying? Like you truly have to watch the whole thing to get like I don't know. I have to watch it again. You know what I'm saying? I have no clue. To me,
but
he hurt himself.
Go ahead.
You go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, but look, he hits him with a leg kick and he wobbles a little bit, but it's nobody knows. He could have had an injury on his hamstrings. Like you don't know. It hit him like right like behind the knee. Maybe not even the calf. It looked a little bit high. It might have like reached like his hamstrings. But nobody knows. No one knows about injuries. No one knows about if it was the leg kick. No one knows if he landed wrong on his ankle during the fight, during throwing some feints. Like, everyone wants to be an expert, but the truth is nobody knows. I mean, at training camp, you have injuries all the time. Like, no one knows actually what went down.
The only one who would know for sure, too, is O'Malley, and he hasn't really said anything yet, other than he made that one post. He put, like, humbled. It's him with those two bad bitches.
Yeah. But, yeah. But, like, the only guy that really knows, like, not even Marlon Vera knows. I mean, it's O'Malley. O'Malley knows if he had an injury before. O'Malley knows if he was 100% for that fight. O'Malley knows
what point it actually hurt. You know what I'm saying? If it was when he fumbled his foot or the kick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm waiting. And he has his podcast too. So I'm waiting. I'm hoping he comes out soon this week with what the hell is going on. I mean, I hope he's good mentally too. Probably takes a minute to get over that. Because, bro, all the hate is kind of crazy too. Because, like, you know damn well that wasn't like a full fight. It's like to say, like, I posted, is the hype train derailed or is it just like a freak accident? You know what I'm saying? And, like, there's no way the hype train's derailed. Like, to me, I'm more excited to see him fight. I'd love to see that rematch. Honestly, that'd be pretty fucking sick. Because, like you said, like I said, they didn't really fight at all. I don't think he's derailed. I think we didn't get to see a full fight out of him. You know, against a guy like.
Yeah, I'm getting like Nate Diaz vibes. Like, even though it's not even close. I mean, to the level of McGregor yet with the competition he's beat, but it's really Nate Diaz vibes. Like, the whole excuse from the Diaz-McGregor fight was, oh, McGregor's gas tank was shit. He blew his load. He was dead in the second round. Had no energy. He's going to be better the second time. So it's not in comparison in terms of, strategy. It's more of a freak injury like Silva Weidman.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, I know.
but
I hate that one, bro.
yeah,
That one pisses me off so bad.
yeah, but no one fucking knows. The only dude is O'Malley, but he's not going to tell the truth anyway on his podcast. Like, you think, like, even say it was the leg kick and he got wobbled, he's not going to fucking say that on the podcast. So you're promoting yourself as a fighter. He's not going to tell the truth. Like, he's going to just say, oh yeah, I landed bad and whatever. He's just going to make up some BS if that was.
You know what, Mr. O'Malley, if you're listening, man, tell us for real. Tell us the truth, because you gotta mention yourself even if it was a kick, because you gotta learn and grow from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's part of evolving if it was the actual kick or the freak injury. But yeah, we kind of robbed of that one, bro. You know, the fight that I was like surprised by was Daniel Pineda versus Herbert Burns. I think that's his name, right? Daniel Pineda. Because Herbert Burns, I was like, I saw that knee knockout he had in his highlights, and I knew his like jiu-jitsu pedigree. So I'm thinking like, man, I can't wait to watch this guy like smash this dude. I don't know who this guy is, and I think during the fights, it said Pineda hasn't fought in the UFC since 2014. Is that right? Or
yeah, I think he got cut or something. I heard Anik say that. I didn't even look into it, but I think that was a deal.
Yeah, and then he just fucking like dominated him, bro. Like, it was fucking crazy, and like strategically too. Like, it was all like, it was dope. Because I definitely didn't see that coming. I thought Herbert was about to smash him, and then
the betting lines, was like minus what was it? Minus 290 or minus something like that. Burns was a huge favorite, but people bet just because Gilbert Burns is his brother. I mean, it's like insane. Like, anytime you get a fight line, like Shevchenko's sister, it's always like minus in the early days before she started losing. People just bet because of like their siblings. It's insane.
Yeah, and I was like the same way too, because I kind of knew like her sister wasn't that sweet, because I didn't know she had a fucking sister until until like she popped up in like her like embedded videos and stuff like that. But with Herbert, he had like some sick highlights too, and he has like the pedigree too, like the same like jiu-jitsu like I guess credentials as like Herbert or Gilbert.
Did he win any world championships in jiu-jitsu, or is he?
I knew he was like a Brazilian national champion, and I seen a couple like U.S. national championships in there. I think Nogi, on his Twitter page. But I mean, I guess it's kind of like the same thing like the sister, because again, I only remember his Twitter page recently because I just not followed them.
Yeah, and Burns was winning the second round, and then he got reversed, I think, and then Pineda just like fucked him up. I think, is that when he put him in the crucifix, or is that the third round?
Yeah, that's when I was impressed, because I was like, oh shit, look, now he has open space with him on the ground, and then no, he fucking flipped where he was on top, and he's like, even at the end of the fight, he's like, you forget that I'm a black belt or some shit like that. I'm like, well, yeah, we must have, because you fucking did your thing in there.
Yeah, my cousin like lost fucking tons of money. He bet like an idiot. He put like 5 fighters on a parlay. He lost, so. But he was pissed. He was texting me like, motherfucker, what the fuck? Fuck Herbert Burns, all this shit.
Yeah.
The Kamaka fight. Did you see that, the first fight on the prelims? I don't know if you saw that, but that was a banger.
Couple of the prelims, I'm not going to lie. I saw the one just in time, and I doubt she's listening, but the lady who looked like Rob Schneider.
Oh, yeah.
Who had the arm bar in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first fight.
I mean, the spinning back pics, shout out to them. They posted that photo. He was getting like hate or something like that.
I deleted it off my story. I saw it too. I was like, actually, I feel kind of bad, because like you talk to these people and you're, yeah. But
I mean, it's fucking hilarious, but it's also messed up at the same time,
Yeah, no, it's definitely hilarious. It depends like what he's trying to do with his page, because like I know he's trying to do like the pics and stuff like that, So it's like when he posts stuff like that, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it was just hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, what other fights like were worthwhile mentioning to you on that whole card?
Man, so if we're going, honestly, I mean, I'll probably skip around to like because we're the Casual Fanboy podcast. People would probably only watch the main card. Skip around to the Jorginho. How do you say his last name? Rosenstrike.
So that's his first name. Jairzinho, I think. Yeah, Jairzinho Rosenstrike or Rosenstruck. I hear struck and strike. I don't know.
He speaks Deutsch, so however Germans would say it. Rosenstruck. I don't know.
Yeah, but what country is he from? I don't.
Bro,
that flag.
Sermonese or whatever. Me and my boy were looking it up. I was on. There's this guy from Michigan named Mondo. Shouts out to Mono. He's undefeated, all first round finishes. I promise you, you're gonna like know who he is one day. But we were talking about. I was like, yo, he speaks Spanish, and then I found out he speaks Dutch, and then in his post fight interview, he started speaking like some wild shit. I don't even know. He speaks like 11 different languages, I think, when I looked it up. But yeah, Sermonese is where he's from. It's in like South America, I think.
Yeah.
I have to look that one up.
But what do you think of that fight? I mean, it looked like Dos Santos was picking him apart, and then all of a sudden he just came out of nowhere.
A lot of his fights are like that. I feel like his fight with who the
Alistair?
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Alistair was winning the entire fight, even on the ground. And then he just had that he has that free power, obviously. I mean, he can strike, like, don't get me wrong. Like, he had a couple nice like leg kicks, and I guess he's a kickboxer from before. But I took JDS too because I feel like he has a more overall game. But I mean, heavyweight, any punch can do it. But JDS is also getting kind of old, and he's taking a lot of shots too. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like JDS, like he was leading the dance, and Rosenstruck was just looking like counter, kind of. Like I think Anik or Rogan kept saying he wanted like a check lead hook or something like that when Dos Santos came in, and it just wasn't fucking working. And then like he just threw caution to the wind. Like if you watch that fight, he's like sitting back, countering. Like Dos Santos throwing jab the body, jab the head. And Rosenstruck just goes for it. And then like he has him against the cage, and he's like, "Fuck it," and he's just like throwing, winging, and that's how you beat Dos Santos. Like, at least that's what like Dominic Cruz said. Like, you have to just like blitz him. Like, you can't let him lead the dance.
Yeah, he's so skilled, and he can fucking knock you out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the heavyweight division's getting interesting. Where like beforehand it wasn't that, but I feel like DC and Stipe, like they fought like once a year these past like 3 years. It's kind of like jumbled up the fucking heavyweight division, which is packed. I mean, obviously Francis is next. Like, how are you on the John Jones thing? John Jones coming out and kind of shooting a shot for that heavyweight title. Do you think it's kind of bullshit to try to hop over Francis like that, or do you think he's more deserving?
He's taking a page out of McGregor's playbook, like keeping your name relevant, keeping your name out there for the public. Like, why would he not tweet that? Because like it's just going to make him more popular. It's just more of a PR move. I think he knows that Dana is going to give it to Ngannou.
Yeah.
There's no way that doesn't happen. And Reyes just said that he had a contract signed, and he just put like hashtag finish him or rematch or something. So maybe there's a done deal, but I don't think so. But yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all just a PR game. I mean, in my view, I think. I don't know. What about you?
No, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. I was also listening to Ariel, and he had Ben Askren on the show like a little bit earlier, and Ariel says also it could be like a ploy at DC, just kind of like talk a little bit shit, like, hey, I can do what you couldn't do, which I don't look at it that way because DC knocked out Stipe. He was kind of controlling him the entire second fight up until the body shots. So like, I don't know, but I think your take is actually exactly what it is. Just being in the news, hyping himself up, because like you said, he's got to know Ngannou's gonna get that shot, and then if Ngannou wins, that hypes up Ngannou Jones too. So I like your take on that.
Yeah, you also have Adesanya Jones. I mean,
yeah, man. Yeah, dude, that's Jones hasn't been the same, man. I at first it was like Jones would kill him, right? But like Jones and Dominic Reyes fight, I feel like Adesanya could have a good fight against that Jones. I don't want to say beat because obviously he's never been really beat, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
How you look at
who do I think in Izzy Jones?
Yeah, you think Izzy's like crazy? You talking out of his league or what?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is with people saying Jones isn't the same. I mean, he's like 32. So first of all, like his speed and power isn't going to be the same. He's not going to be the same guy, 28 years old, or Turinabol or steroids or not. I mean, whatever the fuck happened. But a lot of it is just I feel Jones is the competition's better. I mean, Dominic Reyes compared to some of the other contenders like Chael Sonnen. I mean, it's just the sport. The sport's getting more evolved. The sport's tougher. It's tougher competition. I mean, there's more MMA gyms. There's more MMA coaches. The fight culture in America. There's wrestlers now looking to get into MMA. It's not the same as like 2007 where boxing's on top. Mayweather's like leading the dance and pay-per-views and all that shit. So I think it's just Jones is facing better competition, and he's like holy shit, like Dominic Reyes is like the real deal. And has he slowed down? Sure, but I think it's more that he's just a little bit that he slowed down the speed and that the competition's better. In terms of Izzy and Jones, I mean the wrestling. Can Izzy with extra weight at 205 actually defend a takedown? I don't know. Like who the hell knows?
Mm-hmm. He's done well. I mean, up until now in middleweight division, I was actually really impressed. He tried pulling that triangle off on Gaslam during their interim fight.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, I did not expect that, but no, I agree with what you said. I think that a lot too. Like when people talk about like GSP and those guys like from that generation being the goats, I'm like, well, they fought like it's kind of like in baseball. Guys used to have like two jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy delivered mail, then on Sunday, at nighttime, he'd go and play against the Yankees or something like that. That was like UFC in its infancy. So you had guys who like weren't as talented as they are now. They're starting a lot younger, like you said. Like wrestlers are going right from high school to like MMA training and stuff like that. Where like before, I was like, hey, as a wrestler, I'm gonna go try fight, or here's a boxer, I'm gonna go try, MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the competition. The other thing too, if you watch, he's not as aggressive either. And I don't want to like. I used to love John Jones, bro. But the steroids and like his recent performances make me question like everything, bro. For real, like in the past, I don't know. He's just not the same guy.
Yeah, I mean it's a cold sport. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not fighting for the fans, I mean, but look at it this way: if you got knocked the fuck out by like Santos, which was very possible, like very easily, I mean, what
he is on one
his
leg.
height? Yeah, and but like his whole star power would have derailed anyway. So it's like it's a catch-22. It's like, do you fight Thiago Santos, defensively, where he's throwing these huge hooks? I mean, knocked out Jan Blachowicz, who's no scrub. He's an elite light heavyweight, and Jones did the right thing, I think, defensively. Reyes a lot.
Fight, Santos, on the second half of that fight, Santos is on like one leg, and you're a Greco-Roman wrestling champion. Like take him to the ground and finish him.
Yeah. Yeah, but everyone takes the credit away from Jones. It's like, dude, like Santos, I mean, his legs and shit were fucking damaged from Jones avoiding all those leg kicks, like hyperextending his knee, throwing a leg kick. Like that's all from Jones doing, like kicking his leg, however it happened. I mean, I think he deserves more credit for the Santos fight. And then the Reyes, a lot of those punches missed. I've watched that fight like 10 times with Reyes and Jones, because everyone bitches and complains about Reyes.
How far are you from where Jones grew up? Are you like in that area out that way?
That's like, I think that's by like Tyson's area, so that's like more upstate.
Okay.
I had a friend from work. He's like he knew about it or something. He went to like State University College in New York. They have like those state universities and stuff.
How far is that from you?
So that's probably like an hour, maybe two. I don't know. Okay. It depends where you go upstate, because it all ranges. There's all different areas. It's huge. Like upstate New York goes like right to Canada. So it's kind of sweet. It's like
he like reps you a little bit, Jones.
Well, I actually grew up in New Jersey, so I grew up on like the Jersey Shore. Then I moved to New York City. My parents originally from New York City, so my parents moved to New York City. Then I was raised in Jersey, and then I'm just I have an apartment in the city. So I've only been here, maybe a year. So not really a full city boy.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Wait,
just fucking around. So I'm just trying to figure out why you're making all these excuses for John Jones, but I was just fucking around.
Yeah. Well, I also I went to one of those meet and greets, so I think I'm just like defending it because like I paid all that money to meet him. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna.
No,
I honestly think that's what it is.
You said you rewatched the Reyes fight and you missed a lot of those punches.
Yeah, any fan. Okay, first of all, any fan, right? You're at a UFC event, watching with your friends, wherever you're at a bar, not with COVID going on, but people are watching that with like 3 beers deep, 4 beers deep. Like they might be like turned up, and so they're watching like Reyes throw like all these combos, like 5-punch combinations, but only one of the shot lands. Like you go back and rewatch the fight, a lot of those flurries don't land on Jones. His head movement is like Mayweather-esque. Like and people don't and people don't rewatch it and see that like a lot of those shots did not land. Like a lot of those flurries, like yes, did he get him against cage stone shots? Yes, but like a lot of those punches didn't land, and that's how a judge scoring it, even though a lot of judges suck, might have given it to Jones. Yeah,
Yeah, these judges are getting sketchier.
It's basically a tie, though.
What'd you say?
It's basically a tie in the eyes of the public. Like everyone, I think I view it as a tie. Like, people need to see it run back.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely need to see that shit ran back for sure. Yeah, if anything, man, I would have been happy if they called it a draw, like for sure, like because like you see, even seeing Jones like retreating was weird, and then like I mean it makes sense. Obviously, you don't want to get fucking knocked out, but like, and then when he was tired, he couldn't finish him really. But it's a fight, bro. You know what I'm saying it's fucking the thing. This is actually what got me is because I was just so confident that Jones was gonna finish him because I remember watching. I don't think Reyes originally beat Uzdemir. Wasn't that his last fight before? Oh, he had Chris Weidman too, but Reyes fought
wait, who?
Uzdemir.
Reyes?
Yeah, Dominic Reyes fought Uzdemir and he won, and it was like a very, very questionable like decision. But in that fight, Uzdemir took him down. That's like no time. You know, he's not a fucking wrestler. You know what I'm saying it's like how's he taking like Dominic Reyes down? Then Jones couldn't get the takedown. So, but going into the fight, I'm thinking like if this guy got taken down by Uzdemir, you know what I'm saying like Jones is gonna fucking have a field day with him. He couldn't. But like you said, I definitely want to see that one ran back. Yeah, they got to do that.
Yeah. And the boxing too, like Jones' boxing isn't the best. So like when you have Reyes coming inside, like how are you supposed to defend it against a dude the same size as you? You're not. Like he's probably gonna push the pace. Like if you're throwing those leg kicks and those body kicks, and that's all he throws, and he throws some overhands, and then he wrestles. So like his whole game plan was thwarted when Reyes is coming forward because his boxing is better than Jones.
Yeah, that was something too. He actually was like one of the first guys that had the same type of like body type as Jones. You know. Like 205, the rangy kind of. Because I don't really think anybody else had that, and I guess in the past or of his opponents, right?
Yeah, I mean Gustafson's about it. I mean that's really it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Rampage.
But athletically too, you know, like rangy and athletic. I think Reyes is like the first, probably the only one really. Long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, defending the takedown and boxing, I think, are keys to beating Jones, which Adesanya has, which makes it interesting. I mean, if Adesanya defends takedowns, I mean, it's pretty much Adesanya's fight, you know?
Yeah. Man, Adesanya Costa. Adesanya is one of those ones where you talk about how you're nervous, your nerves get going for like your favorite fighter. That's like one of those guys I watched during the Romero fight, dude. I was like my fucking, I don't know, dude. I was like that this weekend.
Yeah, same. I bought an Adesanya sweatshirt before he became champ, so it doesn't even have the gold letter. So I was like a big fan from day one. I remember first time I saw Adesanya, Rob Wilkinson, I didn't see when he knocked him out, and then like I heard about the hype and all that, and then like I was like on the hype train after that. So
yeah,
but yeah, dude, I love Adesanya. Dude's amazing.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And yeah, we'll jerk off Adesanya later, but I guess we got to finish off this card. Speaking of jerking off, but who'd you want to win in the Stipe and DC?
Stipe DC.
Who'd you want going in?
I really didn't care, honestly. I mean, it's better if Stipe wins because then you get the hype with the Ngannou rematch. So from a fan's perspective, I mean, the fans definitely won. I think, because now you get the rematch. If Cormier wins, then you have Miocic's out because like he lost. So like it would be Blades and Ngannou, or not even Blades and Ngannou. I don't know what you do with that heavyweight title picture. So I really didn't have a preference. I bet Miocic, but O'Malley screwed my bet. And then I bet Miocic by finish, so I would have lost anyway. I thought Miocic was going to finish him.
Yeah, almost did.
But yeah, I thought Miocic was going to win. I thought Cormier's out of shape. I thought that his gas tank was going to fade in the later rounds, you know, maybe like the fourth. And that's kind of what happened. Cormier's a better fighter, I think. He's a better striker. He's more skilled. But it's just like at that weight class, like he fades in like the later rounds if you watch. Like it's not the same volume. And Stipe, like the dude is a marauder. The dude is like he's like a bruiser. So like if you're gonna get tired against Stipe, you're gonna get screwed. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I feel the same way. I think DC's so fucking skilled, bro. Like it's insane to be undersized in both divisions and like dominate like he did. And he's not just all wrestling either. Like you think like he's like Habib's it, right? Like if you look at his like pedigree and background, but like no, bro, he's in the clinch boxing. He's getting dirty, and like a lot of those right hands he was landing up until Stipe learned to grab it. He was fucking rocking them, dude. They sounded like rough, dude. Those shots that were landing. And
yeah,
DC's man. That's who I was rooting for. I was butthurt, but Stipe was the better man at the end of the fight. One thing I I feel about Stipe's like camp. It's like really underrated. It's like their coaching, like the strategies going into there. Because like even in the second fight, the switch, he was getting his ass kicked the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? DC was working him in the second fight the whole time, and then the coaching shifted around and said, "Hey, that body shot's there." Bam, finishes the fight off. You know, rocks him on the body shot. Then obviously finishes him against the cage. But this ain't going into the third fight. They game plan on those. What the hell do you call them? I can't think.
What, uppercut?
No, the when he's getting him against the cage, but he was. Can't think of it right now. The fucking word. But he's holding his arms up because he's taller than DC. So he was taking away like his mobility to like wrestle and like move. Really, you know what I'm saying? He's getting those over unders.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm saying it the wrong way still, but whatever.
No, underhook.
Yeah, the underhooks. There you go. I couldn't think of the fucking word. Yeah, getting those underhooks on him, and then make sure he's grabbing that right hand, because the first fight when DC knocked him out, it was coming off of a clinch. You know what I'm saying? And he's bam, caught him. And Steve, every tie up, he was grabbing that right arm and make sure he couldn't hit him again. But it was just great like game planning. You know what I'm saying? Where like I feel like DC went in there with just, like his skill. I can't say that. I don't want to say that at all. Actually, I want to like, but I think Stipe's like coaching or game planning is like ultimately led to his victory, because like you said, I feel like DC overall was like more skilled and whatnot. And I was so disappointed he didn't really engage in his wrestling. And he said after the fight that he kept his like when he got that first takedown because he overextended himself. But then DC said he wasn't doing that like after that. So like, because those like the little nuances in you and I or like, you know, guys who don't fight professionally like probably wouldn't know. But I still feel like him being DC, he could have forced it a little more, like the wrestling, especially after he got his eye hurt when he's standing up still trying to strike with him after like he had one eye. I was like angry at that, but I also want DC to win. I'm like a short, fat, brown, bald guy, so I'm Team DC.
Another thing too is like DC wasn't as aggressive, like moving forward.
Mhm.
Like the second fight and the first fight, he does that like walking forward, like that mummy, like that.
Yeah.
He didn't do that this time. He was just very reserved.
I think he didn't want to poke him in the eye. I think you want to hear that shit anymore either.
Yeah. But I think it was a body shot too. I think he didn't want to get hit in the body. If he's going to be aggressive, you know, walking forward, like doing that mummy, he's just going to go right to the body.
He landed a couple too, actually.
What was that?
He landed a couple of those too.
Yeah, he landed a couple. And I think that's what deterred Cormier from engaging, like kicking his ass. Like if he walked forward, I mean, yeah, he'd get hit with a body shot, but he would have the success he did in the first two fights.
Yeah.
But the body shot just froze him up. And then he had so like his whole game plan, I feel, just out the window.
Yeah, and I think that him almost getting finished in the second kind of like killed his third round too, because he had to recover a lot of it. A lot of the third round was like him recovering, you know.
Yeah, I mean that takes a lot out. It's just brilliant game plan by Miocic, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the body shots took away his offense. Like the only thing was a clinch. I mean, even the clinch. I mean, Cormier was tagging him. I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, how did he get dropped from the clinch in that second fight, and then those bombs he were taking the third? Miocic doesn't get finished. Maybe it's from taking some time off, only fighting 3 times in 3 years, where his chin holds up.
Yeah.
But it was just a brilliant game plan.
Yeah, it was, and that was part of it too, because like DC was ripping those right hands out of all of them, honestly, the combos out of the clinch. But then, as you watched, when it started clinching up again, that's when Stipe is grabbing that right arm to where he couldn't, you know, and trying to push him against the cage. It was just brilliant game planning, honestly. Those underhooks, that was super fucking genius, being a taller guy, because like I'm a stocky guy and I grapple. Someone's got me like this, I can't really do much, you know. I mean, DC tried going for a couple trips, but Stipe is no slouch at wrestling, obviously.
Yeah. But I mean, DC got him down the first round though, right? Didn't he pick him up?
Yeah, and that's what he said. So like at the end of he's interviewing with Rogan, he said that he overextended himself or something along those lines in that first round when he got that takedown. And he said after that he stopped doing it, like he learned from it, I guess, you know.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is Jones took DC down, and DC took Stipe down. So if Jones did move up, I mean, maybe the wrestling is a factor. Who knows?
Yeah. I think Jones could beat Stipe. I feel pretty confident in saying that. But Stipe again, I mean, shocked me this Saturday. So who's to say? Fucking
yeah. I mean, who knows? It's an interesting time. I mean, if you're Dana White, he's figuring that out right now, probably in his like headquarters.
So
So
if you're Dana White and your goal is to make money, which one are you booking? Jones, Stipe, or Stipe, Francis?
I mean, if you're Dana White, putting him against Costa is like fuck, like because like now that might be in jeopardy. So like, I'm like nervous for that fight as a big Adesanya guy.
Oh no, I meant. Are you booking Stipe against Jones, or are you booking Stipe against Francis Ngannou?
Oh, well, I was prefacing that for like for
Oh,
how everything works. So like, because if Adesanya wins that fight against Costa, now you have a potential fight where Adesanya fights Jones.
okay.
But if Costa loses, then the Adesanya fight's out the window. So like Jones, so then Jones, I think Jones is waiting for that fight because this all plays in middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight all play into each other.
Yeah.
Because if Costa wins, Adesanya's hype train is done. So then the Jones fight's done. So then Jones is going to be looking for big fights, and then the only big fight left is Ngannou and Stipe.
Yeah.
So if Adesanya's out of the picture, Jones is going to look straight to heavyweight.
Yeah.
So Costa wins, then Costa's middleweight champion. Jones is going to look to move up to heavyweight for a big payday because that's pretty much all he's looking to do in his career. I don't think he wants to fight Reyes because it's like a tough-ass fight and there's no hype behind it. I mean, for the hardcores, yeah.
Now it will be,
but,
yeah.
But for casuals, like, you know, everyone, all the casual fans are done with Jones because it's a boring fight and he's not, and he just keeps winning. It's like, who wants to tune in to watch that? So,
yeah.
So I think it all depends on the Adesanya fight. If Adesanya wins, Jones might defend against Reyes, or they might screw Reyes over and then give Jones Adesanya maybe the winter, maybe in the spring, who knows. But if Costa wins, Jones moves up to heavyweight. But for heavyweight right now, it's going to be Ngannou Stipe, definitely.
Yeah.
And then the winner of Ngannou Stipe is going to fight Jones if Costa loses. It's so complicated because it really does play into all those fights play into each other.
They do.
What do you think is going to happen?
Shit. What I think is going to happen, I mean, I think money talks. Like, whatever one's going to make most money. Personally, I'd rather see Stipe fight Ngannou. I don't know, like, Ngannou, I mean, he's already said it. Dana's already said it, you know what I'm saying? But we've seen him say things before it, didn't happen. But, yeah, dude. Stipe Ngannou has got to happen. A lot of people too are like, bro, Stipe dominated for 5 rounds, blah blah blah. Like, I don't want to, like, no one wants to see that, bro. I don't give a fuck. And Ngannou can beat anybody in the world. Their like, skill level is like 10 times his, just because, well, one shot from him, dude. It's like one shot, and that'll do it. Plus, at that point, I think Ngannou was only in MMA training for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? He's going against the heavyweight champion of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he got outclassed on the ground. He's also brand new. He was determined on that, his knockout power too much. But he learned from that experience, obviously. And even if he didn't, he's practiced more grappling. So it's a fight I'm definitely excited for. I don't think it's going to be the same as last time at all.
Yeah, I think Ngannou's going to knock him out. I mean, easily. Because Eric Nixick is. We had him on our podcast, and like he's been training at Extreme Couture. Like, he was homeless, living in Paris or something. Some MMA guy, like a no-name guy, took him in, and he started training him, and he got to that level off of some low-tier MMA gym. That's not a high level. I don't know if it's high level, honestly. I mean, I'm a casual in that sense where I don't know that guy, so I don't know. Maybe he is. But France, MMA is illegal in France, so I assume he's not that good of a coach. Now he's at Extreme Couture. I mean, look at the difference. Like, after the Lewis fight, I think he went to Extreme Couture. I don't know, but it's like night and day. I mean, his skill is I think it's going to get the job done against Stipe.
He went to Extreme Couture when he came to the States. Forrest Griffin actually introduced him to I only know this too because he was on the podcast. Francis striking coach, Black Cobra, Dewey Cooper, and then
Dewey Cooper.
Yeah, and Dewey Cooper works with Kevin Lee, Keith Lee, all those guys like that. But and Extreme Couture is where he does grappling. But yeah, he's just gonna level up in grappling. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, he could take the Adesanya approach where like you're just like a beast at stopping the takedowns because that's what they want on you. So I don't know. But I think I think Francis will win. No disrespect to Stipe. I feel bad saying that because like he was just crowned the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. But Francis is a fucking monster, dude. It's fucking
Yeah. It's gonna be bad for Steve. That's my prediction.
yeah.
He's gonna fuck him up.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So
I can't wait. Are you
but
nervous? Are you nervous for Costa or Adesanya in that Costa fight?
yeah. I mean,
I'm about to pull up that card. I'm
the
listening though.
the whole thing with Adesanya is like he circles a lot, like circles around the cage trying to get away when people try to back him up. It's gonna be you know what it's gonna be like? It's gonna be like the game like whack-a-mole, like when you're at the arcade and you're just trying to whack, that mole and he keeps dodging and like that mole goes down and then he goes up another. It's gonna be Adesanya just like crazy head movement, crazy. He's gonna exert a lot of energy just trying to defend, like avoiding all those hooks from Costa, the kicks. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be hell for Adesanya rounds 1, 2, 3. But if Costa misses all those shots and Adesanya is still good to go and his head's clear and didn't get rocked, I mean, Adesanya is going to finish him later.
Yeah.
I think. The whole scary part of that fight, I mean, look at the Yoel Romero fight. I mean, what Costa did. Like, those first 3 rounds for Adesanya is going to be hell. And then Costa will get tired. And I think Brandon Gibson said that too on my podcast. He said that, like, Adesanya is just going to drown him later rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just Ken Adesanya defensively and what the game plan from his coaches, like watching film on him with his hooks and his pressure, how he's going to deal with that pressure. I don't know. What about the takedown? I mean, I don't know Costa's pedigree in grappling that well, but the takedown, like what if he takes him down? It's such an intriguing fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in the same camp that I feel like if Adesanya takes it, it's gonna be like later rounds, unless he catches him. But Adesanya eats a lot of shots. Like even against Gastelum, he's not really known as a striker, and he was that was really weird actually because you hear all the hype of Adesanya striking and kickboxing, and I mean not even just the hype. You watched it, you watch him pick guys apart. But Gastelum, he just made it a dogfight, and that's what Costa does. You know what I'm saying? He just comes at you. He's fucking just swinging for the fences.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, I just as long as he can eat those shots early on, or like you said, evade them, or even counter them, obviously KO him. I think I agree. It's going to be in like the later rounds where he takes a dub. But
yeah,
drop a whole different.
It's interesting. I can't wait. I mean,
Yeah.
this whole like fall schedule is just stacked.
Did you see all those fights that were announced during the card that are coming up? Saturday during the fight, they announced what the hell?
Holly Holm, Aldana.
Nah, fuck that. RDS, I think it is, versus Habib's cousin name?
Islam Makhachev.
Yeah. What the
and what else?
Cowboy Nico Pace, but that came out I think beforehand. There was a couple good ass fights that they just like. I'm gonna find them real quick. Hold on, my bad. I don't get it either.
But yeah, the whole schedule is stacked. I mean, I can't wait. I think and Edgar Munoz is next week. It's not a bad fight.
Is that the main event for that card?
Yeah, that's the main event for next week for Saturday. So I mean it seems like everyone's fighting now during COVID. Like everyone's just more active. Like everyone's just fighting.
The fighters who are fighting consistently. Like O'Malley fought what 4 weeks ago, like 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like maybe not the last card, the card before that. But yeah, Oliveira versus who's the guy who had the spinning back fist on that Derek Lewis card?
I forget.
I don't know his name, but that's gonna be a good fight. Charles Oliveira's back. I feel like he's really slept on that lightweight division. You know what I'm talking about? Charles Oliveira, the jiu-jitsu guy who beat Kevin Lee.
Yeah. Charles. I mean, his striking looked really good, and his jiu-jitsu. I mean, that dude's been in the game a long time. I mean, you know, ever since I've watched in the sport. I mean, his jiu-jitsu is like top notch. So like when his striking, like when against Lee, when it comes together, I mean, that's a dangerous dude. But they had like reports of him against Islam Makhachev, and like and then just got scrambled. So then like it went to
Yeah.
RDA against Islam Makhachev, and then I was confused.
It's Rafael Dos Anjos. I finally found him. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Islam Makhachev. I don't have the date on that. The other one, well, I'll the fuck was the one I'm about to say? Oh, and Charles Oliveira. I can't think of his name, man. I didn't screenshot that part. Whoever announced it, but he's been knocking guys out in the lightweight division. He beat my boy from Michigan, Derek. But the other one, I'm sorry, I'm like hopping all over the place. I'm trying to find these for you.
No, it's all good.
October 17th, it's finally happening. Brian Ortega versus the Korean Zombie. They announced that too. I don't know if you got to see that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Instagram. That's where I get all my fight updates.
Yeah, and then Tony Ferguson's in Vegas too, I guess now too, negotiating something. So he's got something coming up too.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know who you'd give him. I mean, Poirier maybe.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, who else?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Poirier. But that'd be a quick turnaround for Poirier. Maybe.
Yeah,
I know he's crazy. Likes to fight a lot.
Yeah, but it's a favorable matchup for Poirier, I think, definitely. I mean, if you look at, Poirier finished Gaethje with his boxing, and Gaethje's boxing was enough to mess up Ferguson. So, I mean, I would favor Poirier if that went down. If it was a quick turnaround. Too, man.
Yeah, I feel like if it weren't for Habib, Poirier probably be champion of that division right now. Habib's just such a monster. It's so fun to speculate what that fight's going to be because that division's stacked. I originally wanted
Gaethje Khabib? Gaethje Khabib?
Well, Tony Ferguson being in Vegas, like it's fun to speculate what fight that's going to be because it's an exciting fight, you know. What do you think about Gaethje Khabib? Who do you got in that one?
I think Gaethje's going to knock him out. I think honestly,
what?
Yeah, I did.
Definitely can happen.
Look at all the hype trains. Like everyone in MMA, like especially like just a lot of people in general, like my friends I talk to. It's always about hype. Like O'Malley has the hype, and like you saw what happened with him. You saw McGregor against Diaz, against Rousey. Like a fight is a fight, man. Like Khabib, who has Khabib beaten? Honestly, like I'm gonna go there because everyone talks about Khabib is like the GOAT. Khabib is this. Like he beat Poirier, who's a top guy. He beat McGregor, who's a top guy. But then he beat Ally Quinta. Like this, the number of opponents that are tough, like Khabib has not faced. He has not faced like 10 tough opponents.
I don't think anyone has 10. Like 10's a big number.
Jones, DJ, Silva. Maybe Silva. No, not Silva. GSP. Silva had like 8.
Like top 10 opponents, you're saying?
No, like title defenses.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as like just overall talent he's faced, I mean, you could say that, but with me, it's like the way he beats them too. It's just such a like dominant fashion, dude. And like he also fought Rafael Dos Anjos, who used to be the champion of that division. You know, he had a good fight against him. I mean, and again too. Remember, we just talking about how Poirier beats Ferguson and how good Poirier beat Gaethje. He fucking dominated Poirier. You know, Poirier almost had him that guillotine. I think it was during that fight.
Yeah,
but I mean, Poirier's a beast, and he dominated him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then McGregor, as much as people like fanboy him and say, you ever see the memes like motivated Conor McGregor beats like Francis Ngannou and shit like that?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
But as much as people like dick right on that, like that hard, McGregor's fucking good, bro. Like, and Habib fucking rocked him, like he dropped him with the punch, and then obviously on the ground does what Habib does. So it's like I think that's what puts him on that level is the way he dominates the people he has faced, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the only thing is Gaethje's like an all-American wrestler, not all-American, something like a high-level wrestler from college. So that's
you know
the
what drives me crazy?
Poirier.
You see that shit, but like Romero's a fucking Olympic wrestler, like was silver or gold or some shit like that. But he never wrestled.
What was
that? The wrestlers who don't wrestle in the UFC or MMA, like Romero and Gaethje, they talk about his wrestling pedigree, but we've literally never seen it.
Yeah, Romero, but that's just because he has crazy power, you know.
But even Gaethje, like they're saying all this stuff about his wrestling, but we haven't seen it like at all.
Yeah,
it's like we can't. I don't feel comfortable like. I guess using. I mean, I like both guys. I think I like Khabib better though. I don't know. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't see like making that case when we haven't seen it in action. You know, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting though, because we know what's gonna
I,
happen.
I just if Gaethje has a high pedigree, and he can't and could say he stops Khabib's takedown, or not even that. I mean, the vicious hooks that he throws. We don't know how good Khabib's chin is. We saw McGregor tag him maybe once, twice. Poirier tagged him when he got wobbled. Michael Johnson wobbled him at the Garden back in the 205 card. I mean, he was wobbled from Michael Johnson. So Gaethje, he connects with a hard hook. I mean, anyone can go out. Their lights can go out. You know.
Yeah. That's the one thing. Yeah, that's the one thing I feel like Gaethje has. If you avoid the takedown, the stand up is Gaethje's all day. Gaethje is like one of the best stands up, hands down.
Yeah. And Trevor Whitman's like such an intelligent coach. I mean, the game plan might be perfect. So we'll see. We'll find out soon.
Hell yeah. But I'm about to get going because I want enough time to edit this one, and I'm also
Yeah, no problem.
I was supposed to be up there a little bit ago for my girl. I just had a baby, so.
Oh, really? Congrats, man.
Thanks, man. Hey,
awesome.
this was dope. We gotta do this more often, because
yeah, definitely.
I love obviously talking to like people like that, but like I'm not always as comfortable as I am with like I guess like us. Like I feel like we just have like a general, like you know, like a conversation. Sometimes with them it's more interviewee because like you know it means they're interesting fucking people. You want to ask those questions and people want to hear those answers.
Yeah, when you have interviews, like you can't talk, like you have no opinion. It's like you just keep asking them for an opinion.
Yeah.
So it's not like a real like conversation and shit. But yeah, this is dope.
Yeah.
It was great.
Definitely want to do it again. And again, this is Trevor from the Casual Fanboy Podcast. Guys, check him out on Instagram. Check him out on YouTube. He has fighter interviews, coaches. He has a baseball player in there too, right? The guy from the Astros.
Yeah, Lance McCullers from the Astros. He had like 7 innings, shutout innings, so he's doing good. So that's good for him.
Okay.
Shout out to Lance. He's a young buck. Like he had like a 3.2 ERA at like 23. So he's an up and comer. He made the All-Star team, so he's pretty good.
What other sports are you into? Is it baseball?
Yeah, I'd say baseball. I'm a Yankees fan, obviously. And basketball, NBA. I love the LeBron. Like when the LeBron Warriors saga. So like I didn't watch the regular season, but whenever that series happened, or like I watched Golden State when they first came up in the playoffs. So like and then like LeBron the Heat days, I watched playoffs. I kind of like decreased my viewership after that, but I'll watch like the NBA playoffs and but baseball is boring. It's so boring. I can't for like 9 innings. I can't do it sometimes. So like I won't watch it. Maybe the playoffs.
I gotta be on some type of toxin.
Yeah, it's like a New York culture thing or something. Like if you're a Yankees fan, so like you gotta rep the Yankees. But I can't. It's just painful to watch a game. For sure. Condensed version, no. That's pretty good.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. We definitely got to nerd out on some MMA. Whenever you want to, let me know. I'd love to come on your show, or if I could somehow figure out to send this to you, we could do that too. But thank you guys for checking in. That was the 252 recap with Trevor from the Casual Fanboy Podcast. I'm Easy, and I'm out.
I speak of promised land, soil as soft as mama's hands, running water, standing still, endless fields of daffodils and chamomile, rice under black beans, walked in the apple with cracked screens and told prophetic stories of freedom, found warmth in a black queen for when I get cold like Nat King, I'm doing the dad thing. I speak of wondrous, unfamiliar lessons from childhood, make you remember how to smile good. I'm pre-currency, post-language, anti-label, pro-famous. I'm Broadway Joe Namath. Kanye's best prodigy. He ain't signed me, but he proud of me. I got some ideas that you gotta see. Make a vid with Shorty and they ship it like the Odyssey. They never seen a rapper practice modesty. I never practice, I only perform. I don't even warn, I don't eat it warm. I won't be reborn. I speak to God in public, I speak to God in public. He keep my rhymes in couplets. He think the new shit jam. I think we mutual fans. I used to dance to Michael. I used to dance in high school. I used to pass out music. I still pass out music. The people's chant must be everything the people can't be. I'm getting artsy-fartsy, house full of some Hebrew Brantleys. You must have missed the come up. I must be all I can be. Call me Mr. Mufasa. I had to master stampedes. I made it through, made it through, made it through. And everything I gave to you, I gave to you, I gave to you. You got it, you got it, you got it. It's coming, coming, coming. So are you ready?